I'd like to call to order, please, the special meeting on Monday, June 2nd. It is now 4:30 and we will begin. Please, will you join Councilman Campbell in the Pledge of Allegiance and say standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads. Please remain standing. Our Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight, we ask that you extend your special blessings to all of those of us that are assembled. We ask that you protect our police and fire as they are protecting us every day. We also ask a special blessings for all the armed forces here and abroad and for their families, that you will continue to offer a hedge of protection to them and bring them home all safely. We ask you, Lord, too, to make us mindful of the many blessings that we have every single day, and that we will use them to the best of our ability to the glory of you. We ask this in thy name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman, for that nice prayer.
You're welcome.
Okay. As I just made it on time. As I look across the table, I see we're all here this evening except two individuals. And Councilman Joanne Osborne will not make this meeting, and she will not make the next one, but Councilman Stipp will be coming in. Is that right?
That's correct.
So I need a motion and a second to excuse Councilman Osborne for both meetings and Councilman Stipp just for this meeting. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Campbell and a second by Councilman Pizzillo. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. So let's go on to the communication. We have one communication item this afternoon, and I just want to say this before I begin. Councilman Osborne regrets that she cannot be here for this. You know how much she feels a part of you. So I just wanted to start off. And we're going to talk about the future farmers of America, terribly important. And Millennium High School, FFA, will provide us with a presentation on how Clean Air Act is affecting our water. And just before you begin, it's so apropos tonight because EPA has finally given us the okay on our PM10 agreement, where from 2007, our funds for our highway funds have been in jeopardy because we couldn't meet the criteria. But now they have an understanding about natural incidents like the Habu and the terrible windstorms we have, and so that we are not going to have to worry about those environmental effects we have no control over. So for me, looking at what you're talking about tonight, from word I've heard from coming out of Congress and maybe out of the legislature, your presentation tonight on clean air is affecting our water is very good, and so we look forward to it. So you have the stage, ladies. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, you don't.
Well, Mayor Council, I was going to provide an introduction of the group, but you've done a wonderful job of doing that already.
Well, Lady Matt Ligori, you have the stage.
Well,
I apologize.
Well, that's a mayor's privilege. It's okay.
No, it's when the mayor doesn't look down at his script.
without further
I
ado,
wish
I'll go
I could
ahead and
tell
hand
you
it over to the
something
group.
else. It isn't. It's just pure simple that. Go ahead, Matt.
Hi, I'm Nicole Peach, and
I'm Shelby Collier.
Emily Runyon.
Hannah Eichner.
Alexis Gelsich. I'm Leah Simeon.
And
We are the Millennium FFA Agri-Shoes team.
and our presentation is pretty much a mock meeting. It's for our script, so.
Could all of you speak a little louder
Yeah,
and a
yes.
little slower? I'm having trouble hearing you.
We'll use the microphones.
Pardon me?
We'll use the microphones.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
you have to put them
Are
up.
they turned
Yeah,
on?
put them up.
Yeah, that-
Hello?
okay.
That's good.
Thank you.
Hello.
Do not worry about it, because what may sound loud to you will not be sounding loud to us. So,
Okay. We are now holding a meeting of the Arizona Association of Conservation Districts. Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming. I'd like to start off by introducing a special guest. This is Ms. Brenda Van Dyke. She is the second vice president of the National Association of Conservation Districts and the government affairs director for the New Mexico Association of Conservation Districts. Ms. Van Dyke is also a retired agriculture education teacher and a past FFA advisor from Hobbs, New Mexico. Let's give her a warm welcome. Now, why don't each of our members go and introduce themselves?
Hello, my name is Gina McCarthy, and I am the government-appointed administrator for the Environmental Protection Agency.
Hello, my name is Chandra Riley. I am currently working as the project manager in charge of the Southwest Valley for Sunt Construction.
Good afternoon. My name is Joanna Bolts, and I am the second vice president of the Arizona Farm Bureau.
And my name is Stephanie Smallhouse, first vice president of the Arizona Farm Bureau, the executive director for the Arizona Association of Conservation Districts, and the presiding officer over tonight's meeting. Today we will be discussing the Clean Air Act, which is an act that will ultimately impact our water. Arizona is home to two large U.S. Bureau of Reclamation projects, the Salt River Project and the Central Arizona Project, which provide water to areas without this precious resource. As an association, we plan for any problems our districts across the state may run into. I would now like to open the floor for the discussion of the Clean Air Act. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Ms. McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As the administrator for the EPA and the driving force behind this act, I really want everyone to know how important it is. This act is designed to protect the environment from the progression of smog and air pollution that's spreading across the country. Air pollution, which is causing irreversible damage to the ozone layer, as well as things such as acid rain. We need to work to slow and eventually even stop the damage that is being done. This act protects the public by setting up standards and regulations for production factories and plants across the country and helps prevent countless safety hazards.
Ms. McCarthy, are there any specific plans of action being put into place to try and reinforce this act?
At the moment, our best plan is the Best Available Retrofit Technology, or BART, which in short means the EPA is requiring all businesses which emit copious amounts of harmful emissions to install the newest technology so as to slow the progression of smog. All in all, this act is just designed to better the environment that we live in.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sorry, what is your name, miss?
my name is Georgia Hardeem. I'm a spokeswoman from the Navajo Generating Station.
Go ahead, Ms. Hardeen.
Well, the Navajo Generating Station, located near Page, Arizona, on the Navajo Reservation is being threatened. The Clean Air Act is threatening the economy of our community by possibly eliminating about 1,000 direct jobs with the closing of the station. Closing the Navajo Generating Station, or as we like to call it NGS for short, would mean the loss of more than 520 jobs sold in association with the coal mines, like the Kayenta coal mine. NGS is a major contributor to the economy of the Navajo Nation, the Hopi tribe, the city of Page, Coconina County, and the state of Arizona. I don't know how well the current standing of the station is down here, but I believe if we don't reach out and find help within the state, that Arizona may be losing a vital part of their energy production.
Ms. Hardeen, if I may ask, what exactly does the station provide for?
The generating station provides the lowest costing energy for the Central Arizona Project, and it supplies electricity to pump the Central Arizona Project, or CAP. The Navajo Generating Station is the heartbeat of Arizona's economy. However, the EPA is forcing a rule created by the Clean Air Act that would cost the company up to $1.1 billion to install the emission control technology, and even then the plant isn't guaranteed to stay open. If NGS loses, Arizona loses.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. McCarthy.
I appreciate the concerns that the previous speaker brought up. However, I don't believe that we can forget that the NGS is one of the leading providers of nitrogen oxide in the West. In 2010, a Clean Air Task Force has reported 16 deaths, 25 heart attacks, and 300 asthma attacks to fine particle pollution from the NGS. I don't think that we can lay an issue like that aside based on a business's need to generate revenue. I'd also like to remind everyone that the EPA has allowed NGS a chance to offer a counter-proposal, so it's not as though we're backing them into a corner.
We offered to shut down one of the 3 generators after 2019 when 2 of the current owners, Nevada Energy and the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, are scheduled to sell off their shares in the plant. The EPA wanted the power plant to limit nitrite oxygen emissions to 0.055 pounds per million BTUs. And that's a level that Mike Hummel, the Associate General Manager and Chief Power System Executive at the Salt River Project, or SRP, said is currently impossible. The alternative plan will limit emissions to a level of 0.07, which Hummel called much more reasonable. However, the EPA seemed less than responsive to our counteroffers and had no interest in our plan.
Yes, but your plan would have pushed progress back an entire year, not to mention the fact that there is no guarantee that the Nevada Energy and LA Department of Water and Power would even sell, in which case progress would be pushed back until 2030. Of course, we weren't prepared to accept those ludicrous terms.
Miss McCarthy, I would like to keep this a pleasant meeting, if you please. Now perhaps we can allow someone who has not spoken yet a turn.
Madam Chair,
Miss Van Dyke.
the Clean Air Act is a relatively new addition to the Clean Air Acts of the 1970s. The concept of cracking down on plants and factories has been around since the Industrial Revolution, so the concept is not a new one. And every time there are changes in the legislation that affect us, there are short-term costs. Whether it's the water bill for the family or for the land, we all have to pay the price. But continuing to hurt our atmosphere, our planet, that is a price that our children will have to pay. They are the ones that will have to accept the consequences of our actions if we're not careful. So I think the question instead has to be, what price do we put on our planet? At what point is saving our environment too steep of a price?
Madam Chair,
Miss Bolts.
let's not forget that while the great legislators are sitting on Capitol Hill in their air-conditioned offices, on their cushioned chairs, our communities still need to be fed. And it is our communities of farmers and ranchers who spend the majority of their day, 12 hours to be exact, toiling their fields and on their land just so that the legislator can make our jobs harder. I appreciate and understand the necessity of caring and acting responsibly towards our environment, but the price Arizona will pay will be her ranchers and farmers. Considering Arizona's farmers and ranchers use 69% of Arizona's total water supply and 80% of our share of the CAP.
I know as chair it's not my place to say, but I'd like to remind everyone that like every act issued, there are both positives and negatives. On one hand, the Clean Air Act is set to reduce air emissions by up to 40%, which will benefit our state's natural well-being. But on the other hand, like Ms. Hardeen said, the Navajo Generating Station is Arizona's largest producer of water and energy, not only for the CAP in central Arizona, but also for parts of California, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Riley.
the CAP is the largest source of water supply in the state of Arizona. If the Navajo plant was to spend any amount of money revamping their equipment, that cost is going to be reflected into the price that Arizona pays for her water. The EPA's plans is scheduled to shut down the plant until 2023. If Arizona was to lose the affordability of the water from the CAP, it could all but shut down our urban and agricultural system. However, Arizona has two alternative plans of action put in place, the first of which being using our groundwater supply.
Using the groundwater in this area is completely out of the question. The groundwater in Goodyear has been contaminated by a solvent called TCE. TCE was a byproduct of the Goodyear Airport dumping its waste materials in unlined oxidation ponds and dry wells for 30 years. TCE has been known to cause both cancer and thyroid problems, and I don't think that this is something we can subject our public to. It's far too much of a risk.
But there are ways of treating the water that would make it not only safe to use, but it would also completely cut down the problem of Arizona having water shortages. Groundwater has been under strict regulations under the Groundwater Management Act since the 1970s. This act basically guarantees the continuation and replenishment of water for the next 100 years. Not only that, if it wasn't for the Groundwater Management Act, we wouldn't have the CAP. It was actually a prerequisite to the government allowing the building of CAP. And on the topic of contamination of this water, that water is easily purified with water treatment plants like the ones my company builds, to a state where it's not only healthy enough and clean enough to use in our agricultural sense, but it's also clean enough to drink. The other route that Arizona could take if groundwater is completely out of the question, as you say, would be the use of our reclaimed water supplies, which is more than capable of sustaining the environment.
Reclaimed water is an excellent solution. However, nearly all reclaimed water is being used at the moment. Not only does it help with lessening water supply if the CAP is to shut down, it also helps replenish underground water supplies. I understand that there is skepticism to using reclaimed water due to their history and the fact that a lot of chemicals are used in the purification process. However, any company that handles reclaimed water has to have an aquifer protection permit, which basically ranks the water to be used for drinking, farming, irrigation, and personal use. Reclaimed water is also the only inexhaustible water source. As population increases, so does the wastewater. Thus, greater opportunities for reclaimed water.
Reclaimed water, while it is a good resource, is a highly difficult system to apply to public situations. Take, for example, the fact that many schools are uncomfortable with using reclaimed water and refuse to even use it for irrigation. There was even an extreme case at Millennium High School where they refused to let the FFA land labs use the water for irrigation. Many people in today's society are uncomfortable with the idea of reusing sewage and stormwater, even though the EPA has set very strict regulations to guide the water's quality. This stigma is throughout the nation, and incorporating reclaimed water into today's society is going to take a lot of time and effort, and even then people will still be reluctant.
That's a very good point, Ms. Van Dyke. Unfortunately, we are out of time for today, and we will continue discussion at the next regularly scheduled meeting. Before we adjourn, I would just like to go over some of the things we discussed today. In short, the Clean Air Act is an act that is governmentally enforced by the EPA that works to reduce air emissions that is caused by coal-powered plants. One of these plants is the Navajo Generating Station. NGS, which supplies Arizona's water and energy needs, is being put at risk of shutting down due to the Act's demands that the station upgrade its plants at the cost of billions of dollars. The CAP, or the Central Arizona Project, is facing higher prices if the station is to shut down. Also, if the CAP cannot provide our state with water, we'll be forced to use our groundwater, which is currently contaminated. Reclaimed water is another option, like Ms. Van Dyke said, but is currently facing trouble with usage because of general taboo, and will take greater work and effort to become part of production and society. That concludes our meeting of the Arizona Conservation District. Thank you all for attending and helping our organization plan for the future of water conservation for communities, our state, and our nation. I now declare this meeting adjourned.
I'm going to turn it over for a council comment because I thought this was extraordinary. Sherry?
I think that was wonderful. It was very important. You guys did so much research, and I see Mark, our water guy, back there nodding at everything you're saying. You know what, maybe if you guys were running the Congress, this wouldn't be an issue. You could actually discuss it out. So you guys, wonderful job.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, great job. It takes a lot to come up and do a presentation, and actually one that has good facts, and you've done your research, and you said it just flowed naturally with you, so apparently you do this quite often. But you did an excellent job. Congratulations.
Wally?
Yeah, we wish you luck at wherever you're going to go to do whatever you're going to do with this presentation, but it was an excellent presentation, and thank you for coming.
Sherilyn?
Well, I certainly appreciate you put a lot of facts in a 20-minute presentation that was a great review for this city council, in my opinion, because these are things we've all heard at least once before or more, and it was very well done, very easy to listen to, and I very much appreciate the facts that were included. Thank you.
I thought it was outstanding. Matt, where are you? Was there anything else you would like to say that when I cut you off?
Look at it.
Okay, because I feel very badly about that.
They through with us.
But thanks for being so kind.
So where are they going? No one told us where they're going.
They are actually, on Wednesday, they leave for Tucson, and they're competing at the state level as a state qualifier for agricultural issues within the FFA program.
Wonderful.
And so our chapter has sent 2 teams this past year to the national competition, and our parliamentary procedure team got 2nd place in the nation, and then our agricultural issues team got 5th place in the nation.
Wonderful.
All right, that's wonderful.
Well, good luck.
Good
I
luck.
thought it was a great presentation, and I'm sorry the timing isn't right, that we can't use it as some other venue in Goodyear or with the mayors, with the other surrounding mayors of West Valley, because it warrants that. It was excellent, and your acting ability. I laughed at the beginning because your anger was perfect.
I was quite irritated with it.
Thank you so much for what you've done for these young ladies, and congratulations on your accomplishment. And we look forward to hearing the results at their next venue. Any other comments?
No, good luck.
Once more, thank you. Would you come up for a picture? Wait a minute. How do we decide to do the picture? We want a picture. So should we go behind them and you take it this direction? Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, Sherry.
You stay seated. Yeah, she's going to be right there, so this works. Okay.
I need a picture for them. Leo.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. It's just a little bit more. Oh, okay. That's why I asked them to come up so that they could have something to show their present.
Okay. Wonderful.
You're welcome. Thank you. Michael, give her your card, would you, dear? Then she'll know how to get a hold of you. Okay.
Yeah, he really wants to break in there, you know what I mean? So, I think he will. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, all set here? Yeah, this is right. We're going to consent agenda. Will the city clerk please read this consent agenda item 5.1 by title only, please?
Adopt Resolution Number 14-1641, authorizing the submission of a grant application to the Gila River Indian Community for the Blue Card Command Training Center and providing authorization.
Thank you. Does anyone from the public wish to remove item from the consent agenda? Does anyone from the council?
I have a question on it.
All right, question?
My question is, this grant, last year, is this the grant that we got the Segways for? Or,
Christy McCurry will answer that. Here we
Okay.
go.
Mayor, Councilmember Campbell, no, this one, we got the electronic patient care report tablets from the Gila River Indian Community last
do
year.
we only let fire apply then?
No, Tohono O'odham, which is where we got the Segways, the police department is preparing a grant application for that tribe. Again, we don't have any, there's no exclusivity between the public safety departments.
Okay,
We could
I just
easily
thought you were
switch it
switching
around.
them,
We
you
could
know.
do that.
Okay.
There's nothing preventing us from doing that.
Or is this grant as much as the other one?
The
Tohono
Tohono,
O'odham.
we don't have the dollar amount yet for the Tohono O'odham. That application is still in development.
Okay. All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. A motion, a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Heard a motion from Councilman Campbell, a second from Councilman Loretano. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Holman?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Well, I don't think we have any discussion at this meeting, all right? So I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Meeting adjourned. And we'll just go right in. Well, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Stage right. That was great. Right on time. So, well, let me open the meeting a minute. I'd like to call to order, please, the work session agenda, Monday, June 2nd. And roll call, and I'm going to announce that Councilman Osborne is the only one not attending this evening, but Councilman Stipp just walked in the door. And I have to say once more what fantastic timing that was. And thank you, because I know you have been away and traveling and just got back. So this was an extra effort on your part, and we appreciate it. We have one item on tonight's works agenda. Council will receive the draft of the Goodyear 2025 General Plan. Katie Wilkin, hello there, to present.
And then next week on June 9th is the public hearing. So that obviously is the purpose to get public input on the plan. So I have a broader presentation for next week to go through the process of how we came up with the general plan a little more. And then at that meeting, we'll be looking, well, tonight and at that meeting, for any direction from council on any changes based on public input or your review of the plan. And then we'll have a final document ready for you on June 23rd to take action on.
Here we go.
And then, of course, after council adopts the plan, we're looking at ratification on November 4th, 2014. So the first thing I wanted to go through is some of the resources we went through with this project. When we first came to City Council, you charged staff with tracking how much we spent on the plan and how much time we went through. So I have some information to share with you on that right now. So in 2003, we didn't have real specific costs, but we spent $400,000 on a consultant to create the update of the plan. So that actually didn't include the ratification costs, but just the update. Over the last 2 fiscal years, we've budgeted $140,000, but we've come in way under budget and have spent approximately $76,000 on the plan. And what we're really proud